Teal dear, I don't normally deal with bullshit e-drama, especially when it comes to the e-famous nobodies of the internet. But in this particular instance, I'm going to make an exception, and my interest in this case doesn't come from who is involved. It doesn't even come from what's happened. Instead, my interest is in what might happen as a result. So let me catch you up on the stupid happenings, and then I will explain my interest shortly thereafter. Extreme social justice warriors and feminists. They are so very bizarre, either in appearance, mannerism, or attitude, to the point where they have basically become caricatures of people. It's one of those bizarre times where reality is stranger than fiction. And because of this fact, there are social justice warriors and feminists out there whose behaviour has attracted so much attention and whose general attitude towards, well, life in general is so detached from reality that they become memes in and of themselves, with no need for hyperbole or exaggeration, from Aid Skrillex and Carl the Cuck all the way to Smugglypuff. This parade of characters who seem to have walked straight out of an SJW satire just seem to keep coming. And the latest in this relentless onmarch of stupidity is the aptly named Smugglypuff, this little fat-faced butterball that looks like someone pissed on a snowball. Why the name Smugglypuff, you ask? Well, this individual was caught on video during a protest at the University of Toronto where social justice warriors decided that protesting free speech was a good idea. This protest was filmed by the online organisation Rebel Media, and wherever cameras go to capture social justice warriors being batshit insane, violence inevitably follows, because they don't like being confronted on their bullshit. Let's see how that turned out, shall we?
Take a pressure. Good smile on your bitch. What you want?
Yeah, so they did grab me and pull me in and try to punch me. They're the person right over there with the black lipstick.
That's assault right there.
Officer, I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything that happened.
There's no reason to be
I didn't see anything. Nothing happened. Yeah, nothing happened. I didn't see anything. Nothing happened. I didn't see anything.
And that should tell you pretty much everything that you need to know about the situation. A reporter is assaulted by a member of the crowd, and this person, having witnessed everything, then lies to the police, claiming that nothing happened, all while wearing the most smug and shit-eating grin that I've ever seen in my life, hence earning that nickname, Smugglypuff. But that's not the main point of this. The actual part of this story that interests me the most is that this person, Smugglypuff, was then later arrested. The story behind that is rather simple. A couple was out walking their dog, and when they arrived at the protest, they began to film it on their phones. And as social justice warriors are wont to do, the story rapidly spread throughout the ranks of the perpetually triggered that these two people were white supremacists. Because anyone who just happens to be filming an event is obviously a blinding racist. Obviously, this led to the crowd becoming antagonistic towards this couple, at which point Smugglypuff approached them from behind, snatched the phone out of the hands of one of these people, in doing so, elbowing her in the face, fled the scene, and later destroyed the phone. And obviously this assault and destruction of property is what prompted the arrest, and the ensuing charge of assault. But even that is not the part of this that interests me. What interests me more about this is the identity of this smug fuck. Apparently, Smugglypuff's birth name is Valerie Williamson, and he now lives as a female-to-male trans person going by the name of Theo Williamson. Now, I'm not normally one for identity politics, but in this case, I find this rather interesting. Especially if the charges levelled against Smugglypuff do end up going to court. And it interests me because I'm rather intrigued to see how exactly this is going to be played. Whether or not the transition here has been fully legally recognised, so whether or not Theo is going to be charged as a woman or a man, or indeed as a trans person. Now, we know that that identity should be an irrelevancy in court proceedings. After all, justice is supposed to be blind. However, owing to the manipulations of the court system over the past several years with varying degrees of feminist rhetoric, and the fact that this has had an observable effect on due process, with it being a known fact that women are less likely to even go to trial compared to men, and when they get there, they are several times less likely to go to jail. I just wonder how this would then play out. More interestingly, how Theo would choose to play it. Would they approach the situation as the male that they now profess to identify as, with all of the male privileges that society would endow him with by giving him the harsher sentencing? Would he attempt to approach it as the I'm trans and try and claim the oppressed status thereof? Or is he going to rely on the fact that he was biologically born as female, still looks female, and pitch up to any court dates wearing a dress, knowing that appearing as a woman in court would give them a very good chance of getting away with this completely scot-free, or with a very reduced sentence? It's just an idly curious thought that I've had rolling around my mind about not only this situation, but others that are similar to it, where people, especially of the social justice bent, who have swallowed the male privilege pill, when given the choice of gender to go to court, what would they pick? You'd have thought male because of all the privileges that they claim males have, and yet I can't help but think that that would not be the case, which, in doing so, would undermine their entire position regarding male privilege. Of course, that assumes that this case will actually go any further and the people involved actually bother pressing charges, which I really hope they do. But, in the meantime, I guess this is just a little bit of food for thought.